All right. So we're gonna bake off the baguettes right now. We shape them every morning. And it's 2 steps. You pre-shape them, let them sit ambient, and then after they sit ambient, after you pre-shape them, you shape them. You let them proof up a little bit, then you stick them in the walk-in just to be cold because they're easier to work with. This is a process we do every single day. So we were just using rice flour before, but they should be able to slide off on their own right now. So we'll put 3 to a tray. Generally we want to have all this stuff ready by open every single day. It just depends what we have on hand. The brand or the rice flour is just so they slide off the board. We usually use the rice flour to dust them when they're proofing, just to finish them off. Alrighty, so we got 3 of these little bad boys in each board. We just want to make sure they're sliding. Perfect. Then we grab our little tool right here. So for the baguettes, we always want to score them 5. You kind of overlap it a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So really simple. We get them down here, turn the slide on so you can kind of see. Put the board all the way to the back. You just want to slide them in so they stay straight. Get them in our last deck right here. All right, we're gonna close this. So we're gonna steam them for 8 seconds first off. That's how they're gonna rise. And then we're gonna set a 13-minute timer. And then we'll check on them right now after 13 minutes. It's a pretty straightforward process. It's something we do every single day just for quality control purposes. We were trying to preemptively strike before, but the product comes out not as picturesque, I suppose. So to mitigate that, we're just doing it on hand, on site every single day, every morning. That's part of our routine. No, yeah, I've been cooking for a long time, 14 years, but I don't have a lot of camera banter. I feel like that's a different forte. Yeah, so for me, I started cooking in 2010 at Raw Sushi. And that taught me how to make sushi and more, I guess, like Japanese, American fusion dishes. And then I just kept jumping around from place to place, just wanting to learn more and more. And then my last job really got me interested in baking bread because we bake brioche every single day for service. And granted, it wasn't like Olive Garden style where it's like, oh, all the bread you can eat. It was just like, how many people are sitting at the table, that's how much bread you get, because we'd only bake it per service. But in my mind, I wanted to round my culinary education off and learn all the aspects of baking, because you can't call yourself a chef if you're not a great baker. Careful, it's gonna steam blast, okay? So the next step after it bakes off, we're gonna release the valve to release the steam. So everything's looking okay. So we're just gonna close this back up and let it keep rocking and rolling. We don't need steam for the next one, so we'll set another 13-minute timer, and then we just play the waiting game. It's pretty chill. It's really fun because you know instantly if you did it right or wrong. If you shape it badly, it comes out badly. And most people like to visually consume something before they, because if it looks bad, you're not gonna wanna try it. I think it's just like, honestly, like a visual preference kind of thing, and it also changes the texture of the bread. If you let it not reach like a darker color like this, the inside's more doughy and soft. It's a lot more, it's kind of like more malleable, like almost like Play-Doh. It's weird. If you let it bake off properly, it just gets those really beautiful little air pockets, and then when you cut it in, you can see, I guess, your finished work. The really satisfying part about that is instant gratification, like most Americans love, where you know if you knocked it out of the ballpark or you made a big mistake. So now we're gonna double check on the color. Ooh, they're starting to come along pretty nicely. Let's pull one out just to see what it looks like. Okay, see, like that's where I didn't shape it properly and it kind of bulged out. But this is a nice little color that we like. So you can kind of see if you don't shape them good, it looks like a little like worm or a snail. Still delicious, but not like as pretty aesthetically. Let's See, these are just on the verge of getting the color we need. So we're just gonna flip them around, put them back in the oven just to get a little more color. That needs a little more color as well. This one's pretty skinny, so that one's not bad looking. I'm not too sure what the grocery stores do, but I know the processed product always looks really consistent and really like light in color. And the thing with real bread is it's gonna be like pretty dark and it's gonna have a lot of variations. And I think that's troubling to a lot of people that are used to just eating like Wonder white bread or whatever. They're like, that's not what bread looks like. And I'm like, well, that's what real bread is. That's the cool thing about the sourdough is that it gives it a really unique flavor. Yeast works in a pinch, but the sourdough really makes it complex, which is pretty cool. And this little guy is just leftover, so we're just gonna bake it off anyway. We just gotta sweep this, double check on these really fast. That looks like it's good. Yeah, so the color is starting to look pretty nice. It needs a little more time. It's just about there. Since this one's a little, it looks like a little worm, but this is nice color on this one because it's a little thinner. The squaring wasn't too good here. That's where it burst in the seam. But these are the trickiest to like shape out. This is still a work in progress for me. So I hope the internet doesn't roast me too hard. We want to wipe out our deck every time we're working it. Those are almost done. So let's get the last of our bread in here. And just like the same way we do it with pizzas, close this. Let's take out the other ones now. They're probably ready to go because we have to steam the new ones. Oh yeah, that's much better. So in the interim, we're gonna close this, steam it for 8 seconds, set a 13-minute timer. Yeah, this one's pretty. That's still a work in progress, but we'll get there eventually. Okay, so we're gonna release the damper. Careful, it's gonna steam blast. All right, so those are coming along. And we're gonna add another 10 minutes or so. We would add more time if there was more in there, but since there's only 2 pieces of bread in there, it should go pretty fast. Just scoring product and stuff, it gets really fun because can you make something look pretty and taste good? Yes, it's function and decoration. And then, so for example, the baguette has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 functional, and then it looks pretty. And then the French only has 3. And it's a good way for us to differentiate the differences as well. This is just purely for function, just to get steam in the bread. Just one quick 45-degree angle slice versus this one where you have your functional and then you have something more decorative on the side. Or like these where you have your functional and then a little decoration on top as well. Which takes practice for sure because my first pieces of bread looked like, you know, like crap. Haha, perfect. Nice. That's cool.